Peace. Quickly. Think fast. Being on this physical plane, it's like being in the jailhouse. You know what I'm saying? Because of course it's about us. Like say for instance, if you were locked up in jail, you know, it would be a easier stay. If you had a lot of money on your books, you're able to, maneuver by things, and function as if or a little more feeling that energy of as if you were free, you know. And that same analogy with us being on this plane, uh, making sure we have the abundance, on a level where we could feel that bliss and happiness on a level that reminds us of being, in our non-physical existence, you know. And I think about like it's a balance too, cause like somebody, say for instance, somebody in a jailhouse, they not giving a fuck about reading, getting into shit, you know, all kind of stuff that's not really helping them to get out, you know. But say for instance, but they got a lot of money on their books though. Like they got the most money on their books. They living large in jail, but in most cases, like with them, not educating themselves, not giving a fuck about, helping themselves or trying to get out of the situation. Although they got all that money, on their books, you know, that's as far as that wealth goes is, jail money, because if they don't, as if they don't, because some people, again, with the analogy, some people get to a place of messing up too much where they end up having to stay where they keep pushing their release date back to where shit they could end up just not being released. And again, this is an analogy, so don't take it too literal. But again, an analogy of our physical existence, being in this physical plane is like being in a jailhouse, the jailhouse of learn, like we here, learning. And again, more so with the comparison of having abundance. It again, abundance is good. Having money on your books is good, but again, it's a balance. Or should I say, integration of the energy of making sure you got your money on your books, but also making sure you're on your best behavior. As well. You know what I'm saying? Like making sure you're reading, you're staying away from the people that could pull you even deeper into that jailhouse or this physical existence. Like you want to again be on the best behavior as possible. You know, and it can be done because you just seen prisoners walk out before that made it through the situation. You know what I'm saying? Like had their little money on their books, stayed to themselves to the best of their abilities. You know what I'm saying? Because again, while in a jailhouse or any place, physical existence, you're gonna interact with people. You just like in this physical plane where you don't grow. Like hiding from people necessarily won't help you. Like it only make things worse because you will have to face these things, so it don't pay to hide in the corner. So again, with being in that jailhouse, you're still gonna be interacting, to a certain extent, but it's like stick and move, like deal with what you deal with, and then fall back, cause that's the equivalent of again having just money, like oh I got the money. Again, money is energy. It's completely, for the most part, neutral until somebody takes it and direct the energy in a certain way. But with us again being in this physical matrix, aka like this jailhouse, like in which, like the analogy, you're not taking none of this stuff with you. Like all these different things we buying and enjoying in this physical plane, we're not taking with us. What we are taking with us is our soul. And that's more important, to make sure our soul is on a vibration where it could ascend and leave this jailhouse. You know, so again, it's a balance of course, I'm making sure I got money on my books, eating, sustaining myself, but also making sure I take care of my spirit. So when I get out, I could, I could do something, because say for like somebody that been in jail reading and taking care of themselves to the best of their abilities, when they get out, they're able to, make certain moves and help themselves out because again, they've been staying in tune with that energy. Same thing with us, as a soul on a soul level, you know. Same matter of fact, that's why to a certain extent, they do give like this bodysuit a little serial number, aka your little social security number. Just like when you go to jail and you get that little number, you know, like the social security card, but they, but again, on that level, America building this corporation in essence, they making it more and more of a corporation. But say for instance, just generally, with just our bodysuit, and having a name attached to it, it's kind of like again, like all right, what you in here for? What you down here on this plane of existence for? What's your purpose being in here? It's the same analogy. What you locked up for? you know. But again, so again, remembering, you know, all the little worldly treasures, that we got, all that money on the books in the jailhouse, stack high. That don't transfer. It's not, of course, taking care of yourself is a representation of, being abundant as source. But if you're not taking care of your soul as well, then again, all you're doing is just being the richest person in jail, but not, enriching your soul or your being, so you could use that when you get out of jail or when you get out of this plane of existence, because again, this plane of existence, or being in jail, it's not forever. Shit, even, I mean, and even to the extent where, shit, even for somebody being in jail all their physical life, they do have the aspect of getting out at some time, for the better or worse. But again, just want to use that analogy to, to show how again it's an integration of like, making sure, of course, we want to sustain ourselves, have abundance, but at the same time, we want to make sure we, bringing an abundance of light into our spirit, into our soul, again, making our torus feel, spin stronger and allow for it to expand. So when it's, when we come out of jail, you know, we could go to these, higher planes of existence, you know, just like some brethren who get out of jail and they've been reading and doing good, or went in, a hard head, went into jail, with lessons to be learned, like a lot of us come into this physical plane with lessons to be learned, but then, while in jail, they like, fuck it, start reading and, getting life together, and then they come out of that jail, doing way better than when they first came into that jail, That's also like with our reincarnation processes, going in and out, like messed up, like, oh shit, go back, going back in jail, because again, we judge ourselves, you know, on the transitioning level, like when we transition out of this body. So if you feel like, cause that's why I tell people, we going through experiences that we pick for our soul, and to a certain extent, we purposely don't remember it fully, so we could, actually have to dig and sift through these things to actually learn our lessons, compared to where if our high self was letting us know everything, then we wouldn't be learning anything. Basically it's like having a cheat sheet the whole time. You know what I'm saying? It's like, well, you ain't really even learned the lesson. But by speaking to, again, just like we're going in, like the reincarnation process, where we have certain lessons to learn, and then so if I transition right now, and it's like, still, well, man, I want to become a music artist and spread, the knowledge on that level. I want to, you know, it's like, again, but that's why it's about doing what you came to do, so you won't feel like, oh man, I want to, go back to learn this lesson. I want to go back to do this. It's like, that's what you hear. Now is the vibrate. Get to work. you know, because again, if we're not taking care of the things that we, truly want to take care of and came down here to do, you know, when we transition, we're gonna be feeling guilt. Like our heart gonna be weighing heavier than a feather, and we're gonna feel like we want to come back down here to do something that, we felt that we should have did, that we didn't do, and that energy is in your subconscious. So, automatically too, like you're indirectly, like you're being your judge on earth, if that makes sense. Because, say for instance, like when you transition, it's your subconscious from when you was on this physical plane that guides you into what's going to happen next. So in essence, like, your subconscious mind that you're building up and creating right now is going to be your judge in the afterlife, in essence. Like, so if you still feeling like, oh man, when my mom died, and daddy died, I didn't get a chance to this and that, or, because you really didn't, while on this physical plane, get your subconscious to a place of knowing, like, oh wait, they ain't die, they just transition and they coming back, like just like I'm gonna come back, you know what I'm saying? Or not necessarily come back, but they transition, and their souls are still living, but again, not knowing any better though, you like crying, oh man, this and that, So again, your subconscious mind from within your life right now is gonna be your judge, within your and that's what I caught a glimpse of during a few of my DMT trips, you know, like you are, like what your subconscious is programmed on, that's what you, and again, your subconscious, you no longer have that conscious mind of your body, like in the little brain of your bodysuit, to be like, well, oh no, this and that and and talk all that little noise to try, like it's no affirmations after that. Like, trying to do affirmations and all that, like that's done with you. That's what you was on the physical plane to do. It's too late now, you know what I'm saying? And not like too late, like it's too late forever, but you know, it's too late for this cycle. Because we going through cycles. We'll have our chance. We go. We infinite beings, and depending on your perception, and your level of consciousness, 24,000 years ain't a long time to wait for the next cycle. you know, you can catch this cycle right here, and then we all on different levels of our growth anyway. So if you're not if you're not with the vibe, then it's not meant for you to be with the vibe. It is what it is. You know, even though it is, because I be careful when I say that too, because it's like, for the most part, it is meant for, a lot of people, if not all, to wake. But again, it happens at different rates for different people, you know. But and we all do have different karmic energy we're working out, so it does vary, you know. But just wanted to share that little analogy with y'all. I'm gonna stop this video right here, no longer. Just remember, being the now. Again, we creating, you know, building up our subconscious mind, so that when we transition, our subconscious mind could be on the level of knowing, like, oh yeah, I knew I was God the whole time. Now I'm ready to, transfer to this next level. Or some of us possibly again could come back down wanting to continue to be like an ascended master, where you could probably come down on a level where you don't even have to fully incarnate. You could come, like, be like a person that could be like an avatar, to this physical plane, coming down and working with people still, That's like some people that's like a teacher who, say for instance, well, it's a school in the hood, and it like seemed like all this, violence and all this going down and this and that, but that teacher like loves teaching at that school and doesn't want to leave. That teacher then got offered to work at, all these high knowledgeable schools, all these schools. Like, matter of fact, like, where it's a elementary school this teacher working at, and it's big colleges and big universities. Like, man, we would love to have you teach over here, but some teachers like, man, I just, this is my vibe. I like teaching, here. So again, that's why it's about following your own, your own unique destiny, aka destination. You know, like it, we all uniquely going through a different experience. We all are a part of the one source, but unique aspects of that one source. That's why we have different situations, born into different, becoming into different families, different situations, all that make up our views and perceptions on this physical plane, and the lessons we learn, and the things we go through. But again, we just here on this physical plane, going through God school, because because think about that, like, as a non-physical being, if you could do all kind of, different things. As a matter of fact, again, but falling asleep, it's like, all right, let me, in essence, test myself to make sure, I'm up to par to, go to these higher levels. And there's a lot of things on this physical plane, again, that a lot of lessons that, being in the non-physical, we wouldn't necessarily be able to learn, But peace, happy now. Now's the vibrator, of course. Not too far in the future, not too far in the past. Right now. Peace, peace.